what hiring managers are looking for when they're hiring a data scientist. This question might come in your mind when you're learning data science or when you're trying to transition your career into data science. So I have worked as a hiring manager in my career, so I exactly know how this process works. So let me share my experience with you. So to start with, like when we are hiring a data scientist, there are two kind of skills we are looking for. One is the technical skills and the second one obviously the non-technical skills. So when it comes to technical skills, two things which are really important are programming in Python and SQL. So as a data scientist, for most of the roles, you would be using Python for building machine learning models. So hiring manager might give you small problems in Python and you would be asked to code those problems, right, using Python. So in some companies, you might get IDEs like Spider or Jupyter, which you can use for coding or even the Visual Studio. But some companies might tell you to write that code in Notepad as well. Okay. And the difficulties of these programming statements are different based on the companies which you are applying. So if you apply for FAANG companies, so basically companies like Facebook, Amazon, Google, they might give you very complex lead code problems. But in rest of the companies, I don't think that you would get very complex problems related to the Python and SQL programming. Those would be mostly simple problems. But you have to make sure that you're practicing for Python and SQL. So for that, you can use portals like LeetCode and HackerRank and start practicing. Because writing a code on ourselves while building a machine learning model is different than writing a code during interview. So make sure you're practicing for that. Then the second part in technical skills is obviously your knowledge of machine learning and statistics. So here you would be tested on statistics. So as a hiring manager, I would like to know whether you are able to understand correlation, causation, outlier detection, data processing, all the steps related to that. And are you able to explain it in the right way? Then when it comes to machine learning, do you have basic understanding of machine learning algorithms? Do you know what is loss function? Do you know how to tune the hyperparameters of that particular machine learning model? Are you able to understand the overfitting scenarios for that particular machine learning model? So you would be tested around these concepts. Because when you are actually working on building the machine learning models, these concepts are really important to make sure that you are building the model in a right way. So as a hiring manager, the person is always looking for your basic understandings around statistics and machine learning. Then the next part again, which is connected to the machine learning, is deep learning and time series analysis. Now, these two, I would say, are kind of advanced topics in your journey of becoming data scientist. So when you are really applying for like a fresher role or a role with 0 to 2 years of experience as a data scientist, then having basic understanding of deep learning and time series is good enough. You don't have to be really expert in these two things. So don't stress out in really trying to become expert in those two things unless you are applying for a role where you specifically have to work on deep learning or time series. Then obviously you would be expected to have good understanding of these two things as well. But for most of the roles, even if you have basic understandings of deep learning and time series, I think that's good enough. So these are the main technical skills which hiring manager is looking for in the interview. Is this enough? No, not at all. Because as a data scientist, there are many other things which are important for company when you get selected. So in non-technical skills, you would be evaluated on 3 skill sets. So the first one is your problem solving skills. So in this, the hiring manager might tell you a problem. For example, we are getting large amount of text data related to the customer complaints, and we want to identify what are the top complaints which are raised by customer, how you would approach this problem. So there, the hiring manager is trying to test your problem solving skills. Are you able to ask the right questions? Are you able to think in a structured manner related to the problem statement which is presented to you? So this skill would definitely be evaluated in the interview. Then two other skills which are really important on the non-technical side are your communication skills and cultural fit. Now, what is communication skill? Communication skill basically for a data scientist is, are you able to talk about your project in a right way? Because as a data scientist, sometimes you might be talking with the technical stakeholders. So for example, people who are working as data engineers or data visualization engineers, but you might be talking with non-technical stakeholders as well. So like subject matter experts or senior stakeholders like directors, VPs and MDs. So you have to make sure that you're communicating in a right way based on the audience. So your communication skill is really, really important as a data scientist. So hiring manager would definitely try to understand whether you are able to explain your project to technical audience as well as non-technical audience. So this is really important factor, guys. And the cultural fit. Now, cultural fit again is really important because as a hiring manager, I want to know whether this person fits well within the culture of the organization as well as the culture of my team. Because your technical skills or your non-technical skills are important, but at the end we all should feel happy while working with each other, right? I should feel that you're a good fit to the team, right? Your team members should feel that there is something you can offer to them, and at the same time you're ready to learn from them as well. So cultural fit is really important. So as a hiring manager, the person is always trying to make sure you're fitting to the values of the company. Okay, so make sure that you are preparing well on the cultural fit interview as well. So these are the main skills which hiring manager is looking for. So if you prepare well for the interviews, considering all these evaluation criteria, I'm very sure your chances of cracking the interviews would increase. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you and bye bye.